All right, we're live. Welcome, everybody. I'm Jerish with 90s Best Cartoons. We have the privilege today of speaking with the very own, the one and only, Matt Hill. How are you doing today?
Hey, Jerish, it's good to be here. And man, all the way from Utah, and I guess live stream. Do we think is that like from around the whole planet? Wow,
Just
wow,
about, just about.
amazing. Well, everybody on Facebook Live, it is an honor to meet you all, and I hope you're all having some buttered toast, and some gravy, for supper tonight.
That sounds perfect. Well, let's go ahead and we'll talk to Matt for a minute if we can. So,
Okay.
Matt, when you first got into voice acting, where was your initial start?
Oh, well, right in here in the beautiful city of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I literally was 13. I felt like my life was half over already. So I went, okay, my life's half over. I turned 13. I'm going to be an actor. Convinced my parents I was too sick to go to school. We've all played that one. Did
Of
my best
course.
Oscar winning performance and hopped the bus to my dream and landed my first agent that very day, actually. And who she said, either I'm crazy or you got something here, kid. And it's kind of amazing because that's the truth of it for me. It was like 30 plus years ago, that every time I get a new gig, I thank Dorothy Boyce from Vancouver, from Jury Lodge Talent Agency, for giving me my start into biz.
Well,
So
excellent.
it was pretty cool.
So, was your family very supportive during those times? Like, what
Oh,
were
did
their
you freeze
thoughts?
again?
Oh, I'm still here. Hello? So, if the chat can hear us, we have some connectivity issues, but Matt will be with us shortly. So, let's just stand by here. Test, test, one, two, three. We're just gonna wait this out, guys. Bear with us here. Bear with us. We're gonna wait this out. Oh, he must have dropped. Okay, let's see here. Okay, yeah, he'll be right back. Yeah, this was gonna happen, guys. So sorry about that in advance. We're just waiting for him to come back. He's been having connectivity issues all day. Actually, all week, more specifically. So sorry about that, everybody, but he'll be right back. Let me go ahead and we'll show you just our picture here while we're waiting. My day is going pretty well. Thank you, Quentin, for asking me. Yeah, we're just waiting on Matt Hill to come back here. He's been having connectivity issues all day, and then we'll continue the interview. So just stand by with us, guys, please. Thank you very much. For those of you just joining, we're currently waiting for Matt Hill to come back. He's having connectivity issues. Might as well put a graphic on the screen here. Let me do this. Oh, wait. Silly me. Okay, Matt is back. Here we go. Okay, are you back with me?
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I moved into another part of the house. Hopefully that's gonna help.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're
Sorry,
perfectly fine.
everybody.
Thanks for waiting, everybody. He's back now.
Oh man.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, I might as well ask you the next question. How was your family during those times? Were they supportive? Like, were they eager to get you going?
Oh, you know what is amazing, dude? My parents are two of the coolest people. I mean, obviously, I think we say that about all our parents, except for a couple of years in high school, right? We're like, oh, I'm so cool, you're so not. But my parents, I don't know, they also had this really cool ethic where they said, okay, you want to be an actor in this case, because before I, came back from that agency that day, I signed myself up for a course because my agent said, I'll take a chance on you, but you got to take a course so that you don't let me down taking a chance on you, right? So I'm like,
Right.
yes, I'm in. $500 back in the '80s was like it was a ton of money. So my dear dad said, "All right, Matthew, you want to do an acting, so you better, you can take the course, but you'll have to pay us back." And so, my agent and between my agent and my dad, they paid for my first class or my first course, and I got a job like about I don't know, maybe 3 weeks later, playing Santa's head elf at this Christmas display. So I got to pay both of them back, and I guess for a long story short, my folks ended up being, pretty much through my whole life, some of my two biggest fans. Always were super stoked with what was going on, and the
Right.
ability to see their son, doing his dream, right?
Right. Exactly. That sounds just expectational. Like that is just amazing to hear that. With that being said, I am actually curious. Did you make a lot of friends when you first started, or did it take like a few years to get the grasp of the whole thing? I guess just acting in general. Did we lose you there? Uh oh. Matt, our main man. It's like we'll get one response, and then his internet will give out. I'm fine with it anyway. Well, might as well engage you guys here. So he can't see the chat, but I can mention that to him because we actually have questions that you guys asked us, and we'll be asking him shortly. Let's see. Are you back, Matt?
Yes, and I'm on my own hotspot here. So okay,
Okay.
everyone, right by my side. So I'm not going anywhere. My phone is there. I'm with you. I'm with you. Uh,
It's okay. It's perfectly 100% okay. We're just glad that
uh,
you're able to have time in your day to do this.
yeah, well, I'm saying, thank you for the two people who stuck around. I appreciate it.
Oh, there's quite a few watching. They're all chatting away in the chat. They're really excited.
Yeah.
Someone
Wait a
says
minute.
hello from Seattle, Corey
Hey,
Air.
Seattle. Hey, Seattle. Hope the smoke gets better. Because we get the same crummy air. Hope everybody's okay.
Well, I guess my next question was when you first started out and you made back your money. After that, did you start making friends in the field? You started making that network connection, or did that take a little longer?
Yeah, it's kind of wild because I mean, I've always I've met a lot of people. I think because and for the most part, I really really love people, and so I kind of just I don't know. You just end up talking to lots of people, right? And I was pretty clear on what my intentions were and what I wanted to do.
Right.
And so you kind of just like a meet like sorry like attracts like, and so some of the people that I got to do those early commercials with and cartoons and especially when I got into animation have become some of my besties, and like I say, it's quite amazing how 30 years goes by,
Right.
and like we've gone to weddings together, we've seen people get lose parents and lose family members, and we've gone to like births of their kids. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm honorary Uncle Matty to like about 30 voiceover kids, so it's quite an honor, put
That
it that
sounds
way.
like one heck of a ride. Well, with that being said, I guess I'm now curious more as to after the networking started. When did you get that call from Danny and Atunsi?
Ah, Mr. Danny. Well, I tell you, I think we set a record for the number of callbacks for Ed, Edd, and Eddy, from this, because as an actor, anytime an audition comes our way, it's like, all right, okay, I'm in. What is it, right? And so with Ed, Edd, and Eddy, at the beginning, it was just like every other cartoon, except for we kept getting called back. So usually on cartoons, you maybe do maybe one, maybe two callbacks,
Right.
and then you'll go to the network, and so you'll have like 18 people behind the glass, kind of looking at you like you're in a fishbowl. But with Danny, he had such a vision of what this show was going to be. Plus, he had it all in his head, right? All the show notes, all the characters, basically every single thing that we did was inside his brain. And so until he heard by us doing the auditions what he was looking for, it took like, I mean, honestly, I think we were like to call back number 8. And, finally, then it was just me and Sam and Tony, who, were more in those callbacks together. And then they'd start to mix and match us with a couple other people, right? So we're thinking like, oh, okay, we're gonna get close. But then he'd say something or whatever, and and he'd get mad and he'd go out the room, and we're thinking like, oh man, I'm fired before I even got hired, right? Until finally on, I think maybe let's just say audition number 8, out of desperation, I just had this idea to like tap the microphone, which you don't do as a voice actor, right? Because all of a sudden the engineer's like, you, right? And I'm like, excuse me, engineer man, how do you get water from this thing here? And like Danny, I see on the other side of the glass, he's like, did you get that? Oh my! I thought, oh my god, I'm fired. I'm fired before I'm hired. And he goes, did you record that? And the guy's like, yeah. And he goes, play him that what he just did. So he did, and he's like, that is Ed. I'm like, what do you mean? Like water? He goes, no, like that cadence, that like way of being, like just like out there. He said, you do that, you got the part, right? And so thank God Chris, who was the engineer, he recorded it. So for the first 13 episodes, every time I kind of got off character, Danny would be like, play the thing, right? So it was like we were always sweating, thinking like we were going to get shot by a firing squad, right, if we messed
gracious.
up. Figuratively speaking, right? But
right.
But it was exciting, and honestly, it was fearful as well at the same time, because we're like, okay, he knows this whole show like the back of his hand, right? So, but I'll tell you, in the world of voiceover, it was the only cartoon that we very rarely had pickups to do, which usually are because like they write the script too long, right? Whereas Danny wouldn't let it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so other shows we'll have like maybe, I don't know, we'll have pickup sessions like for days, right? Or they'll figure, the lines didn't really work in that one scene, let's fix it, right? But with Danny, I mean, honestly, we maybe had a couple callbacks over 8 seasons for to come back and redo things.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't let it go. So I mean, I think I hold the record. I think I did 32 takes on one Ed laugh line. So I'm like, he's, no, that's not Ed. I'm like, oh. So oh yeah, God. I think lots of the Edisms came out of like completely like not having any clue what they wanted, or what in this case Danny wanted, right? But so it was such a love for the craft and in the show, right?
Right. Which we have a lot of your fans here in the chat just loving everything about just hearing you speak. Well, even with Ed, Edd, and Eddy being one of the points, when that was going on, were you doing anything else in the world of animation, like for voice acting?
Yeah, I was doing. Oh my gosh! Well, I was doing live action for a long time too. So I think in and around those days, now you're scratching my memory bank. I was doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I got to play Raph in Turtles 3, which totally, for me, kind of like being Ed, it turned into this, never did I know that, the Turtles were going to be this iconic, franchise series that
right.
I got invited to play, right? So, it was really cool. I got to work with Jackie Chan. I did a movie called Shanghai Nights with him, and then, voiceovers, like once they started coming to Vancouver, this was really a hub city. It was pretty cool. A lot of really cool, especially like 90s animation and into the 2000s. It was, it's funny looking back is when you realize, wow, there was so much going on, right? And People think it was like such a creative time in the city, right? You know,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
well, especially during that time, when did the public speaking start that you would do? When did that kind of
That
take off?
Yeah, that kind of took off when I was doing an organization called Run for One Planet, and that is where we ran by doing a marathon each a day, and we ran across Canada, and then we ran around
Oh,
the perimeter of America, and it was all to inspire environmental action. So we put the metaphor of a marathon, so like one step at a time, to
right.
mix it with making an environmental choice. So we primarily ended up talking to elementary school kids, right? And so dummy me, here I'm thinking like, no, we need to hit them with this green message, and believe in yourself. Little did we know that it was literally going to be Ed and Eddy that blew it out of the water, and being the voice of Tenderheart on the Care Bears, and then also Raphael, especially when we got into America, when the schools just completely went off the charts, when out of desperation, like, my partner in it, Steph, she'd be like, hey, does anybody want to save the planet with Ed and Raph? You'd have 2,000 kids and teachers losing their minds, right? Oh my God, right? So lineups felt like a mini rock star, because like the entire school would wait for us to then sign their arm or sign their side of their head or whatever. But it was such a gift to in real time get the feedback from all these kids that really like Ed, and Eddy, and let's say Raphael on the turtles, really affected their life for the positive,
Oh,
right?
good. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, like when you have kids that are also saying thank you because like Ed and Eddy made them realize that they're not like geeks, that they could like live on in a cul-de-sac and maybe not feel like they fit in school, but yet watching the show really made them feel like they belong to something. you
Right.
know like that's like, I mean, man, I was like, even like I'll never forget this one teacher who was probably 7 foot, like I'm gonna say 7 foot 12. He was a tall man. He was the president of this middle school in Houston, Texas, and it was a charter school. So apparently these are all over the states.
Right.
Um, and there was about 2,500 students in this place, and it was the principal who lost his mind in excitement when I said, hey, yo, who wants to save the planet with Raphael, right? And this guy's just like, oh my God. So he waits. And at the end, I thought he was going to say, thanks for coming. But he did say thanks for coming, but then he actually had a tear in his eye. And he's like, brother, I want you to know that I chose to be a teacher because I grew up in a really rough neighborhood in like somewhere where he grew up in the States. He was now in Houston, but he said, I had a really, really tough family, and watching the Ninja Turtles really helped me live by the code of the code of the turtle,
Right.
right? And he said, like, in particular, Raphael really made him feel like he wasn't such an outcast and an outsider, right? And so here it's like 25 years later, he's saying to me, thank you for choosing to be say an actor, and then come and speak to his kids in Houston, right? It was all these moments of me crying with kids and with teachers, because they're saying thank you to me, but I'm saying thank you to them for giving me such a great life as well, right?
Right.
you know so it's I mean, what's it like, what do they call it, like the instant feedback loop, right?
I think so. I think that's what they've
Yeah.
given it the name.
Well, we'll go with that. It's like the positive train, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like hugging and laughing and coming together. So it was really cool.
Well, then that begs the question for me to ask: when
Yeah.
COVID is all over and it's in a more stable point, would you think about doing something like that again? Doing another marathon to bring everyone together?
Oh, you know it, brother. It's so interesting because before COVID, I was literally on track to actually start another one, and I was going to go across our great country of Canada, and then if it was starting to take off, I was going to take a left or take a right, I guess, in Newfoundland, and head down through the states again. And so in my heart, I think it's still going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I just think the message is too important right now. And with COVID-19, I just went, okay, well, I was so disappointed not to be able to just say, okay, here we go, off we go. My gal gave me a pass for, for the 6 months to, get across the country,
Right.
right? And so I knew all systems were in play for it. But then, like we've all had to do, right? I had to readjust and go, okay, you know what can I do right now? So, in the spirit of the marathon, I started on Earth Day, which is April 22nd,
Oh, okay.
and I did a marathon a day, over I guess 3 sets of 21 days. So I'm right now I'm at 69 marathons. So virtually I've covered from Vancouver, Canada, and I'm almost into like Eastern Ontario at this point. So above America, where what would be below Ontario in America?
Oh, okay. Okay, I
Well,
see.
like where would you be, like if I'm, because I would go across like right like across like Highway 1. So let's say what's below, oh, let's say, I made it to Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, that helps me better because I was
That
thinking
help you?
I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
Canada that much, so
yeah.
so I apologize.
We're that big country that's like, like a below Alaska and stuff.
I have been to Vancouver once before.
Have you?
Very beautiful area. Yeah. When I first joined 90s Best Cartoons, we actually had an office in that area, but then it's since then closed. So uh,
Where was your guys' office?
it was mainly by the lake. I forget what the lake was called. I always use Google Maps to go there, but it's by the lake.
Burnaby Lake?
Uh, yes, yes, it was by there.
That is crazy. Wow, small world, man. Small world.
Totally small world, and now I'm back here in the states, and it's nice here.
Yeah, yeah, it is. You know what? I've always felt like between Canada and America, each province felt like a different country, and each state that we ran through was like a completely different country as well. Because the people are so, like, everybody's so friendly. Everybody, like, literally, even though obviously we share the same food and water and air, right? So that's our commonality.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's like Southern hospitality, right? Where did I gain 15 pounds? In the South, everybody feeds you. Everyone's like, get in the shower, you're stinky, and let me feed you too. Right? It's like,
Exactly.
honestly, I've never eaten so many hush puppies and fried okra in my life, and it was so good.
That's awesome. Well, with also Vancouver life, I am aware that you can go, well, not as much now, but in the past you're able to go through the streets, and you probably even run to the Big Jim if you remember him.
Big Jim.
He was one of the writers for Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Oh, geez, thanks for that, brain fart. Yeah, yeah, that, like that show you were on. Big Jim. You know what, man? It's been a while.
Yeah, he has done a few other works, but
Yeah,
one of his biggest points was Ed and Eddy. But he's
yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah,
he's gone
yeah.
farther.
Oh, it was a good launching pad for lots of people. That's for sure. Yeah,
Well,
it's a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, no, you're good. You're good.
No, I seeing like lots of people who were, like just like starting their animation career, or starting their PA career, now are lead artists on, huge shows and gone to, different corners of the world. And, a gal named Heather Patak, who was, one of the, like the interns on the show, now runs her own animation company,
Oh
in Canada.
wow.
Yeah, it's called Kickstart Canada. So it's like, so like we've all watched and helped each other grow up. It's amazing.
Well, that also begs my question, where I'm actually curious. Have you ever gone to the store and you ran into Sam Vincent?
Yeah, that's Sam Vincent. Let me tell you about Sammy Vincent. He's one of my best friends. He is one of the world's kindest, smartest. Although, we beg to differ who's better looking, but whatever. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, no, Sammy is, one of my besties, man. We've done so many cartoons together, and in fact, we get a breakfast spot that, like, if we don't see each other for a while, one of us gives the other a call and says, "Hey, yo, who's buying this time?" Right? So, it's weird though. I keep forgetting, so somehow I keep buying. I just don't get it. But yeah, no, Sammy's like. In fact, actually, I saw Sam about a month ago. So, um,
Excellent.
yeah, yeah, everybody's doing really good. And Tony, lives like way up in northern Alberta,
Oh,
so,
okay.
like way, way, way up in the sticks. But happy as a clam. Got a growing family of his own. Same thing. Every once in a while, we'll have a little chit chat on Facebook.
Right.
Um, and then others in the cast as well, right? When we run into each other, it's like, that's what I love about Vancouver is it's it really, even though there's quite a few of us, it's not that big of a place, right? So everyone's like kind of like Utah, right?
Right.
You're
It's
like,
very very concise. Everyone kind of knows each other, and
absolutely, yeah,
it's amazing.
like just like New York City, same thing, right? Right? It's like, hey, Tony and Hoboken?
Oh, I know Tony. He's from Second
Hey,
Street. Go over there.
thank you very much. See, say hey for me. Totally.
Well, that's perfect. Let's go ahead and we'll segue into your life as the present moment, if you will. So, what have you been up to? Like, has COVID slowed you down, or have you still been trying to get out there?
Yeah, well, like it's been amazing, dude, because in all honesty, it's probably for voiceover has been the slowest like couple of years of my 30 plus years in the biz. And it's interesting because I've ultimately seen it as a big gift because it's allowed me to do a whole bunch of running and kind of get the next phase going with I'm started my first book as part of like the, having some extra space. And then, the way I'm looking at it is the next voiceover that is meant to be mine, then, just as easily as it came before, it'll come around because, it's one of those things, right? It's sometimes you gotta, yeah, I mean, as humans, I'm just like everyone else. You fight change, right? Even though
Right.
it's easy. Like, I say to somebody else, it's like, don't sweat it. It's okay. It's just take a break, enjoy, right? And but I've never been used to it being that slow. So it was a bit about what? Oh, wow. Okay, I am gonna have to get something else going. Okay, here we go. So
Perfect.
it's but yeah. So it's been awesome, and it's been probably some of the most challenging as well, right? Because like I say, we're all wanting to do things, and I was about to head out on the road again, and then this lovely COVID-19 arrived, and stuff. So that's why for me, it really was being able to go, what? I can still run. I can still meet people. I can still be local, right? So even though I have to say, okay, my distance is virtually done, this distance, because if I had gone down into the States first, as an example, I'd
Right.
be just into Southern California,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, actually, sorry, I would be just into Southern California and rounding the turn, and so I would be in like somewhere in Arizona right now, right? So, and if I would have gone to Hawaii, I'd be halfway out in the Pacific.
Well,
Hello,
excellent.
Hawaii.
Well, moving from that part, if we
Yeah.
could talk to the Ed side of you for a minute.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and we'll have some things here from the chat. So Janet Alcumir wants to know:
Hello, Janet.
did Ed ever call Wilfred after the school dance? Are you still with us? I think it cut out again. Uh oh.
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, there you are.
So her question was if Ed ever called back Wilfred after the school dance.
Oh, did say it one more time?
Did Ed ever call Wilfred after the school dance?
Well, I just checked in with Wilfred, and he said that he talked to Ed, and Ed said, "You bet your bippy."
Perfect. We got another one from Johnny who wants to just basically talk to you and Ed at the same time and says, "Thank you, Matt, from across the pond." I believe they're referring to the lake that we spoke about earlier.
Yes. Either the lake or the pond might be an ocean. Maybe an ocean, or is it in the continental North and South America?
I'm not entirely sure. I need to get my geology back up
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, no doubt. Well, hello from Ed to you, compadre from across the pond as well, and I hope you are well.
And let me just see if there's any other questions here really quick before we move on to the next part. Oh, here's another one. Who won the staring competition, Johnny or Plank?
Oh, that's such a good question. I'm gonna say blank. Blank. It's kind of like Jumanji, but not, right? Yeah,
Right.
Blank.
That thing is alive, I'm telling you.
Well, I know. It's like every time I see, like I get to do this thing. It's called Cameo, where you do recordings like video. What do you call it? Like for for fans' birthdays or
Oh,
shout out
right.
like that or whatever. And so it's been so great because I've just been adding all the other characters from the show. So like I'll mostly, obviously I'll be doing it for Ed, but then I'll be like, yeah, and my sister Sarah says hi, and Johnny and Plank. Here's what Plank would look like, and then I just do like a blank stare with a little happy face. So
Excellent.
it's it in there.
And then let me pull up some questions here because we asked people about a week ago some questions they'd like to ask Ed. And
Yep.
so the first one being from Leslie Jen Sincere, and they ask the favorite Ed centered moment.
The favorite Ed centered moment. Wow. That's like an existential question, isn't it? I would say his favorite moment was realizing that he may have had a crush on Naz, maybe. He may have had a crush on the Kanker sisters. Don't know which one. But he also realized that when he kicks his feet, the boat moves forward. Yep.
Perfect. The next one we got is from Alex Campbell, who asks this, if I can speak, what is your favorite part of the show?
All the parts I love. You know what? Except, yeah, actually, wait. I need to say that again. I love all the parts that I'm in.
Perfect.
It's like this. Ed's like, I love you. My line, my line, my line. Blah 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 blah. My line, my line.
We got a one that's more live from Johnny Foxhall, who wants to know what did Ed's bed taste like?
What does Ed's bed taste like? Oh, it tasted like uh, crusty toast and butter mixed with gravy and essences and sprinkles of Jawbreaker. Oh, and toenail fluff.
Ew.
It's
I
kind
like it
of
though.
try it.
All right. The next one we have is from Dominic Miles, who asks, "What was your favorite episode which revolved around Ed?"
Oh well, I think the one that was called "I Am Ed and I Am Awesome." No, I'm just kidding. I still to this day, the Halloween special for
Hoo
me,
ha
like
ha.
yeah, like and also too. Oh no, sorry, I completely mixed up the title. The what do you call it? The mutant monsters. Oh, wasn't that the Halloween one?
There was
Um,
Boo Ha Ha, and then there was the one where Ed actually became a monster.
Yeah, that one. I love that one. I am the mutant mole monster. Ah, right? It's just like that's about the only line I kind of remember. But
Excellent.
oh, and also too though because Christmas is my personal favorite season,
Right.
like the Christmas movie, hands down, man. I love like where Ed comes like crashing through the side of the wall. And then, I'm like, oh, Santa's great, gravy cakes for Santa. And then I'm like putting, basically like all his treats out for him and stuff.
Right.
That just warms my heart.
It'll still blow my mind when they had your character drive the chimney through the entire house.
Totally. See, I'm gonna go with that answer. That's my favorite moments of Ed, for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, but then
Perfect.
and then the chickens like driving, pulling everything all around the neighborhood. Oh, it's crazy, crazy.
All right. Well, our next question comes from Emily Russo. Did you
Oh
pull
yeah.
the inspiration from Ed's voice from anything specific?
Yeah, like I said, that microphone that had the little spit screen fluffy thing on the top, forever and a day, I said thank you to that microphone because like literally that helped me get a gig, right? Because I was in such desperation that like I just went dum dum dum. Oh, how do you get water on this thing? So, like I swear to God, I should have asked for that mic cover, so that I could like keep it for the rest of my life. Like, well, maybe I did.
Maybe you
Maybe
did.
I did.
The next one comes from Terrence Harris Hughes, who asks, who would Ed's favorite superhero be?
Oh, I think his favorite superhero would be Mighty Mouse. Yeah,
All right.
because Yep. I think you were looking for something different, weren't you?
No, no. There was a part of me that was hoping Captain Melonhead, but that I
Oh, that's true. Oh, Captain Melonhead. I forgot about Captain Melonhead. Yeah. Thanks.
perfect.
You're helping me remember all these things, man. Thank you. Thank
We have an archive that we do a thing called Fantastical Friday, and we live stream
Oh,
the show every Friday, so we see it quite often.
oh, phenomenal. Well, thank you for helping me along, friend. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're like, what do you mean, Mighty Mouse? That's stupid. How about Melonhead, bonehead?
I still like Mighty Mouse though. I'll never forget that show.
Well, because I wasn't the tallest of kids in the school, but I loved running. I loved people, and I loved like just getting places fast. So
Yeah,
yeah, Mighty Mouse totally, for me personally, kind of did it right.
yeah.
But Ed would maybe make up a new one now. I think maybe it would be like he would definitely have huge feet.
It'd be something definitely out of one of those comic books.
Definitely, yeah.
The next one comes from Brian Hancox, who asks, "What was the happiest memory playing Ed?"
Mm, hmm. I think to be honest with you, it's weird because it was it was mixed with one of the not sad, but it was kind of like when we realized that the show wasn't going to go further after like whatever season it was. I think it was season 8, I guess, or whatever. Um, we we all kind of had our Seinfeld moment where I remember it, and it was weird because the three of us were talking like the three Eds, right? We were yakking and we were like, man, fellas, it's been such a great ride, because we didn't like I wasn't connected with say fan sites and all that sort of stuff. So I'd only been to a few conventions. So I didn't actually realize how huge the show was, right? Like even though Danny would come in and the producers would be like, "Oh my God, you guys, we're number one in Kuala Lumpur, we're number
Right.
one." You know what I mean? They kept telling us all these numbers, and I just thought, "Oh, well, it's cool." I mean, a lot of people are watching or whatever, but it's really wild that in my way. So I don't say we were like Seinfeld, so I don't mean it like that, but we realized that we had been a part of something that nobody could take that away from us, that we really were Cartoon Network's highest rated cartoon of whatever that time period, right? I
Right.
remember Danny always saying that, and there was such pride in his eyes because he had fought tooth and nail to make that show the way he wanted it, right?
Right.
So we really kind of like this was like almost like a brotherhood, right? We all so we all just like, yeah, it was a really cool profound moment going like, hey, we're kind of like Seinfeld, we're really popular, but we're going out on top. You know what I mean? And then I
Right.
cried for a year. But in all honesty, Farish, it really was then going on the Run for One Planet tour and speaking and getting feedback from 50,000 kids and their teachers that Ed was alive and well, right? So for me, it's been this like 12 years of Ed continued, right? And so I get that gift, like that. I mean, I can't tell you how many pictures I send out to people of Ed, and I write on it, and say happy for your friend, single day, But then now being invited by Cameo to do video shout outs, once again, it's like Ed lives, and people are stoked, right? So I'm always like, thank you very much for their for this gift, right? Because it really is a big gift, big gift.
Excellent. And then with you mentioning that, it reminded me something that I wanted to ask you about, if I may.
Yeah.
How did the team handle the sad departure of Paul Boyd?
Mm, yeah. Rest in peace, brother. It's 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 like we've all, right? We babies are born in the morning and people die sometimes at night, right? And it's it sucks. And unfortunately that's also part of life, right? And I think in a way, I'm sure his spirit, is watching over the show, right? Going like, hey, I was part of something really cool, because
Exactly.
I often like, because we got asked to also, because Danny was a huge proponent of Make a Wish Foundation, right?
Oh,
That so we often would spend like whole days at the studio, with a really sick kid, who had obviously just said, I want to meet the cast of Ed, right? So, we go in and not really knowing these kids' stories, but oh my God, like it brings tears to my eyes now because we met so many amazing little human beings, little heroes that, you know, percentage wise, how many of them, lost their battle, right?
Right.
I'm sure it's not a huge amount, right? But the joy that they gave us, being so stoked about Ed and Eddy, right? And then knowing that, like, in our own way, we could help elevate that, that child's life, as one of their wishes, right?
Right.
Um, I feel like so honored and grateful to have been able to be part of that. Yeah, it's
That's the heart right there. There we
well,
go.
that's it, right? I mean, that's it's why we do this. It's like, I mean, yeah, it's amazing to get paid for what we do. I'm not gonna lie, but I'll tell you, it's amazing to get paid for what you love to do, and have that feedback from people and kids and and producers and other people that. Not to say you're. Can you swear on Facebook? I'm sorry. Is it
Uh,
Am I allowed
feel
to?
feel
Okay,
free.
basically to say, like, you're the shit, right?
Right. Right.
It's not like, it's not an ego thing. It's more of a, wow, what a gift that we get to do, to lend our voices to then give this gift to other people, right? It's that's why I say it's such a win-win, right?
It is.
you know yeah, it really is. It's like you, right? It's like you have your show, and so you're giving this gift to the fans, and so that's you doing your version of this whole thing, right? And so once again, it's like it's like, okay, high five. There you
We
go.
yeah, we have a lot of fun doing what we do, and we're also trying to get a convention for Ed, Edd and Eddy. And on top of that, we're in the process of trying to figure everything out. But
Let's do it.
but one question though for you was that if the show came back for a final season to wrap all your marbles, everything, all every marble is back in the bag,
Yes,
would
every marble. Yeah.
would you reprise the role?
I might. I think it would be a good possibility. Yeah, I think Mel and Ed might also show up. Maybe Mighty Mouse. Actually, I just heard Danny go, no, no, Mighty
Perfect.
Mouse. No, yeah, that's an interesting one because there's been a lot of people, obviously over the years that, but you have two camps, right? Some people are like you guys are like, oh, it'd be so great. And other people are like, that would suck. It'd be so stupid, right? So, I think in this respect, it's probably, I mean, the Eagles said, until hell freezes over because they hated each other, right? The band, but
Yeah.
then they got together and, but yeah, so who knows,
Who knows?
Never say never there, young warrior.
Well, winding it back to our next set of questions, we'll finish these up. We have another one from Ari Burson who asks, "Are there any similarities between Ed and you?"
Hmm. Any similarities between Ed and me? Sorry, I just swallowed some water.
You're good.
There's like, if you could see me, you guys, I'm like choking here. That is Ed to a T. There is so many similarities between me and Ed. It's like actually kind of scary. You can ask my if my gal Marie was in the room, she'd probably say the same thing. It's like all of a sudden I'll bust into Ed, and yeah, it's yes, we are one. Me and the Edster. We are.
Excellent.
Uh,
Excellent.
Sorry about that spit take, everybody.
Oh, you're fine. The next one we have is from Mary Margaret Edwards, who asks, "What is your opinion on buttered toast?"
I have quite an affinity of an opinion on buttered toast. Um, it's yummy, and like I said, it's very, very good with gravy. But you should also try some marmalade on it as well on Sundays.
Excellent, excellent. Our next one comes from Pyro Contreras, who asks, "What type of bread does Ed like?"
Cause he likes to have a healthy heart and a gut as well. And so he likes multigrain, with flax, and also with spider seeds in it as well. because it's
Awesome.
yeah, it makes it go down very well.
Sorry, I'm just trying to hold in laughter here.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. Uh,
Mm.
Safe Jadala asks, what city was in the cartoon? More specifically, when you see the cul-de-sac, where would you envision it to be in a world stance?
Oh, that's a good question. It's wild. Not because I'm just trying to say this, but like seriously, my childhood cul-de-sac in a little border town called Tawassum, which is literally butts right up against the United States of America, a place called Point Roberts. Literally, that cul-de-sac could be literally like right there. So like we had like the cul-de-sac circle. We had like the broken light out all the time because us kids we'd always like we'd shoot it with our hockey pucks and soccer balls and all sorts of things, right? We called it monkey hour. So so we came by it like authentically. All the kids were riding their bikes and I'm like running, going, okay, last kid standing, right? So all my friends are passing out and I'm still running around the so really I really was Ed. I really am, because he's just like, I was just running. you know. But I'm gonna go with maybe Forrest Gump was molded after Ed, huh? What do you think about that?
I could see that too because the way that Forrest Gump runs, there's similarities
Exactly.
between him and Ed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tom Hanks, obviously, sure, yeah, okay, he did an okay job, right? The first time. Imagine Ed. I'd be like running with my head backwards. It's like, it's brilliant. Run, Johnny!
Perfect. Our next one comes from Marwa Yeager, who asks, "Do you miss doing the voiceover for Ed?"
Nope, not at all. I never do it ever, ever. I don't do it ever. I hated it. And I hate it now. Yep, that's all I got to say.
Sorry.
Hate might be a bit of a strong word, though. I hate it.
Perfect. Our next one comes from Quentin House, who asks, "Hey Matt, super fan here. When you worked on Ed, Edd and Eddy, was there any kind of inspiration for Ed? Where did you channel his? Oh, well, you already did that one. Dang it, Quentin."
Yeah, well, I just say, yeah, cul-de-sac rules, man. That's where I got my start, brah.
We got another one from Ronald Robert Hobbs, who asks, "What is Ed's preference on butter for his toast? Salted, unsalted, dairy-free, or gravy flavored?"
Ooh, oh, well, I'm kind of liking the salt-filled, gravy-filled, chunky one. Yeah, like because that's I think where chunky puffs came from too. It's like the butter that goes bad, and then it just it's like cheese curds.
Ew. But I could see that happening with
It's
cheese
like
and
the original
butter.
poutine. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We got our next one from Jesse Delaney, who asks, "Why butter toast?"
Ooh, why not butter toast?
I'll do you
That's
one
it's
better.
all.
Who is butter toast?
Oh, who is butter toast? Oh, wait a second. Who is? Well, I thought what was butter toast? No, you are butter toast. Oh no, you are butter toast. Yeah. No, I say, oh yeah, butter toast. Oh, so good, so
I've
good.
I've never tried it personally, but a lot of people like question if they should do it. And you know what? Maybe we all should.
Oh, please do. Oh, I actually, my gal makes homemade bread, and I just slathered some homemade grass fed, because I'm in Canada, right? So like
Yeah.
we have like right in the back field, so like we have grass fed cows, So the cow's like, "Hi Ed, hi buddy, just gonna get a little butter there." It's great.
Awesome. Our last question comes from Jonathan Hurd, who asks, "If you and Ed were friends, would you chat with him in his voice or your regular voice?"
I would force him to chat in Matt's voice all day. I do that all the time, but it doesn't seem to work because I end up talking like Ed. Oh, I tried it again. Here, wait, I'll try again. No, it didn't work.
Perfect.
I'm like, get away, Ed. I'm trying.
Well, that ends our question portion of this interview. I guess one other thing to ask you. Let's
Yeah,
go to future. What do you see happening in your future as of right now? Whether it be your talent as a voice actor, speaking, running, what would you
yeah.
see?
all of the above. It's it's funny because that really that has been my present, because it is such a gift for me that is kind of run with me, pardon the pun, my whole life. And so like even like my book, I've been I've been wanting to write it for so many years. So I finally just said, all right, my birthday came around in January, so I started putting the the Ed thoughts and life in cartoons, and what it's like for me being Matt Hill in the world, and the thousands of face plants that I've done trying to be a better human being. But then trying to share the lessons that I've learned on this journey. So that I'm my goal is to finish for my next birthday, which is coming up in January. So I got about 6 months there, and then like I was saying earlier, man, I love doing voiceover. So it's I always look at it as maybe you asking this question, it means like there's going to be a new project flying in with my name on it, and in the meantime, it's just I just keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm doing lots of swim, bikes, and runs, and trying to just really be super present to the gift of every day, while also in also too on days when I do find it really hard that that I haven't had a new job, to not just kind of go down that road, but to try to go, okay, yep, man, it sucks, right? But at the same time, there's so much that we can still do and actually learn, and so much that we can still make happen, right? We just
Definitely.
got to just get over ourselves, right? Have a
Get
look
that
in the
ambition out there. Totally.
absolutely, and it's funny because being an actor, a lot of someone's values maybe around, say, getting a whole bunch of new roles. Where I really had to learn is like, what, I'm still worth $1 million, because I look in the mirror and go like, you are one special dude, you know. My poor girlfriend, I'm just always like, I'm like, oh yeah, oh hi Marie, how are you? She's like, stop looking at yourself in the mirror. I'm like, I just love myself. That's all.
Well, that's awesome to hear. Well, with that being said, thank you ever so much for giving your time out of your day for us. And I guess I can say in conclusion, when that book comes out, let us know, and we will definitely, boost that up there so people can read it. And then
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
when COVID's
Thank.
more stable, yeah, let's
Yep.
let's do the run thing.
Absolutely, brother. That'd be awesome. And yeah, like I say, if anybody got an aunt or an uncle or another Ed fan that they think would like a shout out, head over to cameo.com and just search Matt Hill, and I'll get them done up for you.
Cameo.com. Say that again.
Yep. Yeah, cameo.com.
Someone says they need a new ringtone.
You need oh, perfect. I do ringtones too.
Well, excellent. Well, yeah, with that
Thank you,
being
my
said,
friend.
thanks again.
Yeah, thank you. An honor.
If there's anything you, I guess in conclusion, you want to say to the chat, there's
Yeah,
good for people.
everybody on Facebook, thanks for hanging out, you guys, and for real, just in this crazy COVID altered times, just keep being kind, and keep loving yourselves. Take care of each other. Take care of your mom and your dad and your brothers and sisters, and for real, right? It's like we really are gonna get through this, and I believe with all my heart that as a human beings, we're figuring it out. You know what I mean? I think this is just a slight pause for us to just be able to look at each other and ourselves and go, all right, let's make it great right now. So that's where I'm coming from. So I share that with you guys. So thanks for helping me have a great life too.
Perfect. Yeah. Once again, thank you, and I agree with everything you just said. It was a good time to reflect. Well, with that,
Absolutely.
thanks everybody. We're gonna end the live stream. Thanks for coming.
Bye guys. See ya.